Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. And in today's video I'll be discussing some breaking news. It's currently 10:50 a.m. I was on my phone and I saw this. I immediately got recording as quickly as I could. My video recorder is actually updating. So apologies if the screen is weird because it's like some Mac version. I don't know. It's different for whatever reason today since it's updating. So I'm sorry if it looks different. I just recorded something that messed up for a second. I recorded it for 3 or 4 seconds and it looked weird. It was a bit condensed, so I apologize if this looks really weird and if it's all condensed. But we have gotten breaking news that Rob Portman will be retiring in the state of Ohio, in Ohio's, Senate seat, which will be up in 2022. That is along with Pat Toomey and Richard Burr in both North Carolina and Pennsylvania. And this is very good news for Democrats. Because first off, I'll go talk about how they could potentially win in Ohio. If you go take a look at some races, there are races, we've seen the GOP do this, and Democrats may end up doing it. Ohio here, I'll just go to compare past elections versus past elections. If we go take a look at the shift that Ohio shifted 11% to the right. Iowa shifted 15% to the right in the span of 4 years. We've seen these states shift by crazy amounts. And we've seen Ohio shift to the right by large amounts. In fact, we've seen it go, here I'll go back to compare past elections versus past elections. Oops. Wait, hold up. Custom compare. Oh, hold up. Give me a second, guys. This is weird. Oops, I did not want to go look at New York polls. Hold up. I'm not sure what the problem is. Swap compare sources. Okay, now it's letting me. So we're gonna go look at the shift from 2004 to 2008. We saw Ohio shift 8% to the left, actually 8.1% to the left, which is odd because that's exactly the shift or the percentage that Donald Trump won Ohio by. So if we were to do that in the Senate race, it would shift and become a Democratic state. I don't necessarily think that it will. We've seen Ohio and Iowa shift by or at least Ohio. I didn't pay close attention to Iowa right there. We've seen it shift pretty large amounts, but not only are, this, I don't necessarily know that Democrats will be able to win in Ohio, but it will definitely be very competitive. I can't think of any Democrats off the top of my head that could win in Ohio other than Sherrod Brown, and he's already a senator there, and there's really no point to give up your Senate seat for another Senate seat. But I don't know, that would be weird. But if Republicans were to run a bad candidate and Democrats were to run a good candidate, Ohio could become very competitive. Now, another reason why this is very good news for Democrats is we see Republicans are at this point fighting an uphill battle. Yes, they have three senators in these seats, and yes, these are Republican seats, but there's not necessarily seats that it's like retaining a seat, but it's not quite like in Colorado or in Arkansas, where it's or even in Georgia, a competitive state, where it's the incumbent, it's an open seat, which it feels like it's going to be a lot more competitive because, as I said, there is no incumbent in these seats. There are no incumbents in either of these two seats, making these seats, even though they are currently Republican seats, they're still going to be incredibly competitive seats, and it's not like retaining a seat. It's going to be harder. They're going to have to put more effort than they would have to previously into these states, and each of these parties can only raise so much money. And once they're going to have to spread it among where they can. And Democrats will be heavily targeting Ohio, and Republicans will be having to spend some of their money into Ohio, which could now be a competitive state instead of being a 20-plus Republican state. And we could see now, just because of the effect from Ohio, it could become very competitive. It could become a lean state, and we could see them have to funnel more and more money into there to keep it safe, which we could then see Florida become lean, Democratic, or lean Republican. We could see Missouri become likely. We could see Wisconsin become a tilt blue state. We could see Pennsylvania already is a tilt blue state. We could see so many, especially if Tom Wolf runs. There are so many things that we can see, and now Republicans are fighting ultimately an uphill battle, as I said, because they absolutely have to, like, it's not flipping a seat because obviously they have the incumbent, but it's like winning a seat that they don't already have an incumbent in. And yes, they already have the seat, but it's going to be a lot harder for them to win in. And I don't know if Republicans will be able to will even be able to win in other states now, or like now Arizona could become a likely state. Or not likely, but a higher lean state, much less competitive. We could see New Hampshire becoming a lean Democratic state from tilt. I think that if Ohio is looking to be competitive, New Hampshire, Chris Sununu won't win there. Even if he were to run, he wouldn't win if Ohio were to be very competitive, because like I said, there's only so much money that the GOP is going to raise. Even if it is potentially a red wave year, Joe Biden has a really high approval rating right now, so we'll see if that sticks. But even if it is supposed to be a red wave year, we could it probably won't be if Ohio remains competitive and Joe Biden's approval rating remains high. Because as I said, New Hampshire's not going to be close. Chris Sununu is going to be close, but even if Chris Sununu were to run, he would lose if Ohio is going to be a competitive state. And I think that we could see Ohio returning to its swing state status. Like, if we take a look at how it's voted, it hasn't voted tilt for a single candidate. It's always voted by pretty large margins. 3.5, that's a decently large margin. 2.1, that was small, but then Obama won it by 4.6, and then 3%, so it tended to hover around there, 8.1, but we did see it being likely blue, I think. 96, that was Bill Clinton. He did really well, obviously, but still, he did make it, a 6% margin of victory. Now, we've seen Ohio, like I said, shift. It's shifted like a lot to the right, but still, we've seen it shift left and right over past years, and I think that we could see that again. And I think that if that were to happen, which, like I said, it very easily could, Ohio is lean red, and North Carolina and Pennsylvania is tilt blue, because not only, like I said, will this have an effect on Ohio, it could have an effect on the entire nation, because, like I said, you can only raise so much money, and there comes a point where there's going to come a point where they're going to have to make a decision between putting a lot of money into one state or putting a little bit of money into Ohio and another state, and it's going to be pretty bad for the GOP, and this could almost ensure Democrats the Senate for the next 4 years, because they just need to win, and they just need to keep their senators in every state, or Republicans need to keep their senators in every state and then win in 3 states. I don't want to say flip, because it's not quite like flipping, but it's also not quite like keeping an incumbent. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for next video, whenever that may be, and I will see you guys there. Bye.